Hi. By the way, Twitter is down. Don't panic. It's been down for an hour, just FYI. Thank you so much for having me here. This is actually my third time at Campus Progress, and I'm really happy about that. And I kind of want to start my talk with talking about the closet. You've grown up with that term, coming out of the closet. And coming out of the closet has changed my life not once, but actually twice. During second period U.S. History AP class, after watching a documentary on Harvey Milk, I raised my hand and came out of the closet. I'm gay. I told my whole class. My ex-girlfriend didn't hear about it until recess. This was in 1999, and I was the only openly gay student at Mountain View High School. Thank you. More than 10 years later, after building a successful career in journalism, after writing about Mark Zuckerberg for The New Yorker, after covering the 2008 presidential campaign for The Washington Post, after starting the college section at the Huffington Post, I came out of another closet, this time the immigration closet. Last summer, in the most public way I could, in the New York Times Magazine and in subsequent TV interviews from ABC News to the Colbert Report, I came out about being undocumented. That I am one of the country's nearly 12 million undocumented Americans. And you heard that right, undocumented American. Because even though I don't have the right papers to show you, even though I'm not here, quote unquote, legally, I am American. Like some of the undocumented friends you went to school with, I grew up in America. This is my home. It's the only place that I've called my home. And I came out of the immigration closet much like I came out of the gay closet because I was tired of living in fear. And that's what the closet is really about, fear. Fear of the government that didn't know what to do with me. Fear of the media that criminalizes people like me. Can you name another instance, by the way, in which a whole group of people is labeled as illegal? And fear of people, straight people, documented American citizens, who didn't see me fully, who didn't see me as a full human being. But fear can only envelop you for so long. Life, you guys know this, life cannot be lived in fear. Thank you. You overcome the fear. You deal with the pain, you face the truth. Let me repeat that. You overcome the fear, you deal with the pain, you face the truth. And here's the truth. Across the country, alliances are forming and bridges are being built. Young Americans are helping out their undocumented classmates and friends. You know, last October, I actually spoke at the first ever Ivy League-wide DREAM Act Coalition Summit. Some people here probably went to that, for graduate and undergraduate students. And it's a student-led coalition, and each of the Ivy League school was represented. A few months after that, a group at the University of Michigan called the Coalition for Tuition Equality. Oh, we have some, great. Invited me to talk to their campus. The members of this group are all documented American citizens, mostly white. Then weeks after that, I went to North Carolina. As you guys know, the UNC-Duke rivalry is so storied and so long that it has its own Wikipedia page. But immigration brought together two groups. The Students for Immigrant Equality at the University of North Carolina, and the Students for Humane Borders at Duke. They organized an Immigrant Rights Awareness Week, a partnership between documented and undocumented students in both campuses. An alliance was formed, a bridge erected. And that's another truth. Progress happens when young people get involved, when people like you get involved. And since I'm the founder of Define American, an organization that seeks to elevate how we talk about immigration in this country, let's define progress. Progress, a noun, an expedition, a journey, a forward, onward movement, a gradual betterment, the progressive development of humankind. And around the world and in this country, we move forward, we progress when young people help lead the way. Look at the revolutions in the Arab world that's still ongoing and evolving. Look at the history of the freedom riders in the civil rights movement, when black and white young Americans rode together through the segregated South in the 1960s. You know, the great Frederick Douglass once said, "Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will." We need to build power to create progress. And progress, true, genuine progress, depends on a young generation who insists, individually and collectively, on a better, fairer, and more inclusive future. And I'm here today to ask you kind of a series of questions. Will you help us? Will you help young undocumented people whom you've gone to school with, who are fighting to be considered human beings who can dream and live life with dignity? Will you stand up for immigrant rights, which at bottom are actually American rights? Immigrant rights are American rights. That's because unless you're a Native American or an African American brought to this country because of slavery, we all came to America from somewhere. Will you stand up for your classmates who, even though they grew up in your states, can't pay for in-state tuition to go to the same colleges that you do? Will you throw your full support, not just for the DREAM Act, but for full comprehensive reform, so that parents and workers of your classmates and friends are treated with respect and dignity? Will you work with other youth-led immigration groups in your communities? Will you start a Define American chapter in your schools and engage other student groups in having a much fuller and broader conversation on immigration? If you're growing up in America right now, and there are two defining issues of your generation: gay rights and immigrant rights. And what are they both about? They are both about the fact that this country is changing, right? Look, my name is Antonio Vargas. It doesn't get any more Hispanic than that. But I'm Filipino. I'm actually Asian. Oh, kamusta na? That means hello in Tagalog. In college, I majored in political science and African American studies. I'm gay, and I'm undocumented. I should just marry a Jew and get it over with. But look, this country, and you know this because you live it, this country is only going to get gayer, blacker, browner, and more Asian. Diversity is destiny in 21st century American politics. Diversity is destiny. It's inevitable. And the question becomes, what is your role in that conversation? And I'm actually going to tell you a little bit of a quick story here. Around this time last year, I did the Colbert Report. And it was really interesting. It was really scary. And a couple of nights later, on a Sunday night, on July 17th, I get this email, and it's addressed, Define American. I saw Jose Antonio Vargas' interview in the Colbert Report today on Hulu, and immediately visited defineamerican.com to further explore your mission and goals. This was written by a junior in high school from Syosset in Long Island. And even though he didn't have anybody in his family or any really friend who was undocumented, he's been involved with immigration rights. his Spanish teacher founded an organization called El Centro Comunitario de Educación in Deer Park. And he started volunteering to teach adults, mostly Hispanic adults, ranging ages 20 to 50, to write and speak English. He wrote, "Their stories truly moved me. In their appreciation for the simplest things, a lesson in the difference between have and had, or on the placement of a word such as however in a sentence, shows me how desperately they yearn to be treated and respected as Americans." I ended up writing him back, and this is what I wrote. "Your email proved what I know to be true. Your generation will change the course of our country. It's your ability to empathize, to see the humanity in the adults you're teaching." Hey, I was one of those people that wanted to make sure that I knew the difference between had and have, that I knew how to use a comma versus a dash versus a semicolon. And I told this young man that his willingness to respect history and look at the bigger picture while connecting the dots keeps people like me optimistic. And I don't want to embarrass him. Zach, can you stand up? Zach Hammer. Wave, wave. So that's him. He's gonna be a freshman at Brown this fall. And he is he's the first college coordinator for the Fine American. So if you want to start a chapter in your school, if you want to make sure that this issue is not just being discussed among Asian and Pacific Islander student groups and Latino groups, that we can involve white students and black students, Republicans and Democrats, because guess what? Progress doesn't know a political party. It shouldn't know a political party. Progress should be amongst all of us. If you want to do that, please contact Zach. Get in touch with him. And really, I'm here to say thanks. Instead of getting you to help us at Define American, in addition to that, I'm here to say thanks. It's because of people like you, progressive people like you, that people like me come out. Because we know it's safer. We know it's going to be better. We know that you're going to be behind us. And we know that we're living in this extraordinary age, which is really, to me, the golden age of storytelling, the golden age of story sharing, and also the golden age of coming out. Because more and more people will come out. They'll come out as gay, they'll come out as undocumented, and they're going to rely on you, on all of you, to insist that they are seen and treated fully as equals. There's a lot of work to be done. You guys know that. We're entering an election year in which immigration is one of the critical issues. And I personally am counting on you. So please, get involved. Please, speak out. Please, see the bigger picture. Thank you so much for having me here today.